Okay, here we go. I have page 17. Here we're going to order real numbers. The first thing I want to do is talk about these two, number 1 and number 2. We want to know are they greater than, less than, or equal to? If you guys forgot what the symbols look like, for greater, looks like so, all right? Less than, looks like so, and then equal. If you don't remember about how we did these, I'm sure you learned when you were younger that the greater than and the less than, you could make like a crocodile. And remember that the greater than number is always been eaten out with the mouth, okay? Eaten up. So if you look here, I know that 15 is greater than 5, right? Oh, I wrote both greater than, guys. So let's do this way. And then I know 5 is less than 15. So if you can see here, I have the greater number is going to be eaten by the alligator mouth. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay? All right. So let's start with number 1, square root of 2. When I look at square root of 2, I know he's not a perfect square. But remember, we kind of did this on the number lines on page 13. So I'm referring back to 13. And I see that square root of 2 is about 1.3. So I'm going to write that here. And then I have 1.3 plus 4 makes it 5.3. Okay? If you don't remember, it's like 4.0 plus 1.3. 3. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to come over here. I got 2, and then the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is a perfect square, which is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Is 5.3, or square root of 2 plus 4, greater than or less than or equal to 2 plus square root of 4, which is 4? So I know 5.3 is greater than 4. Okay? Notice I'm making my greater than symbol greater than the circle. It's just so that when you see the worksheet today, the circle's kind of small, so I put it over top. All right, let's look at number 2. Square root of 12. When again, I'm going to refer back to page 13. Square root of 12, I'm going to say is about 3.3, 3.4. If we look at this right here. Okay, we're going to say he's about 3.3, 3.4. 3.4 plus 6, I'm going to say is 9.4. 12 plus square root of 6, let's say he's about 2.3. So 12 plus 2.3 is 14.3. All right, square root of 12 plus 6, 9.4. Is he greater than or less than 12 plus square root of 6 or 14.3? I know he's less than. Okay? All right, let's move on to the next section, order from least to greatest. This number line looks just like what our foldable looked like on page 16. I just want to transform all these to what? Decimals, okay? It's a lot easier. So we're going to go back over here and look for square root of 22. I'm going to say he's about, let's see, about 4.6, all right? And pi plus 1, pi we know is 3.14. So 3.14 plus 1 is 4.14. And 4 and 1/2 is 4.5. All right? Again, put your numbers on the number line. When you do this, I'm going to go ahead. Remember, you're going to write it back in original form. Okay? So square root of 22, 4.6, he's right here. And again, that's a guesstimate or an estimate approximation. But again, I'm going to write it back in original form. Okay? Pi plus 1, 4.14. So he's about at 4.1. So pi plus 1. My last one, 4 and 1/2, is at 4.5. So 4 and 1/2. All right, so these three numbers written in least to greatest, pi plus 1, then 4 and 1/2, and the greatest number is square root of 22. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 4, square root of 5. If I look, he's about 2.1, 2.2. 2.5 is already in decimal format, so that was nice. And then my next one is square root of 3. So I'm looking. Oh, I say he's about 1.6, 1.7. Okay? So looking at here, I know that my number line, 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. So I'm looking, square root of 5 is about 2.2, so that's going to fall between 2 and 2.5. Square root of 5. All right, 2.5, right on the 2.5. And square root of 3 is 1.6, so it's about right here. Okay, so least to greatest, square root of 3, square root of 5, and then 2.5. Okay, the next one, pi squared. Now I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, she gave me pi squared. What is pi squared? It means pi times pi. So I might have to do some multiplication. I'm going to come over here and say 3.14 times 3.14. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Remember to bring a 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Bring another 0 and another 1. 3 times 4, 12. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And 3 times 3 is 9. Add these all together. 6, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 3 is 7, 8, and 9. How many decimals? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth and say it's 9.86. Okay? All right, square root of 75, I don't have here, but I'm going to give you, he's a guesstimate. He's about 8.5, okay? With that knowledge, I can now go ahead and graph on my number line these numbers in least to greatest order. So this is 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. Okay, so pi squared, 9.86, so he's about here. So pi squared, 10 is 10. And square root of 75 is about right here. Okay, so I'm going to write them in order from least to greatest. Square root of 75, pi squared, and 10. I hope this helps you understand how to order real numbers from least to greatest.